Hey, Dutch. If you're edged because I'm weaseling on your grindage, just chill. Because if I had the whole Brady Bunch thing happening at my pad, I'd go grind over there. So don't tax my gig so hardcore, cruster.
What in the actual fuck are you talking about?
I have no idea. But let's go ask Encino Man. Which is
I see what you... damn it!
Oh, yeah. Yet. Oh, God, I just did a mic hit with my hat.
My hat.
Before we get into Encino Man, Dutch was telling me a funny story over lunch.
Yes.
And
we did another episode and then we went to lunch.
We did. And I think it would be worthy of the time to, because I feel like this is going to be a pretty short episode. Why don't you tell your story that you were telling me? Okay.
So the love of my life, I love her more than anything. We were watching a movie the other night. It's a time travel movie. And so there's one scene in the movie where this guy is trying to steal a car. He comes back from the future and he's trying to steal a car, and he kind of dozes off in the car after he hotwires it and has kind of like a dream / like flashback. So I look at this woman who I absolutely adore and I love more than anything. And I'm like, I think it's crazy that he is having a flashback of something that hasn't happened yet. And she was like, no, it has happened because he's remembering it. I'm like, it hasn't happened yet. Like I'm trying, and so it heated into a point to where I was just like, you know what, that's it. I'm going to bed. I'm not even going to watch the movie. I will probably never watch Terminator ever again just because of this one scene.
Spoiler alert, it was Terminator.
So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, like, what are you not getting? But then she's looking at me like, what are you not getting? And I'm like, what do you not understand? Like, this hasn't happened yet. Everything that he just imagined hasn't happened yet. And she was like, then how could he remember it? I'm like, because it happened in the future. And she's like, see, it happened. I'm like, but it hasn't happened yet. This is, see, nope, my blood pressure's up right now. This was supposed to be a fun, quick episode. Nope, it's all ruined.
So, when and if she listens to this episode, I want to see if I can kind of close the gap, because I feel like it's worth my time and energy to see if we can kind of reel this in and see where the disconnect is. So, the best way that I can explain this situation is a person lives in the future and something happened prior to the date that he's been alive. So, like, hypothetically speaking, I'm from the year 2029. I remembered something that happened in 2025. But, yeah, which is the year that we're in now.
Right.
I travel back in time to the 1980s. While I'm in the 1980s, I'm having a flashback of something that happened in 2025.
Yeah.
So it hasn't happened yet.
Right. It hasn't happened. Of course you can remember it.
I can remember it because it's my life and I'm from the future. So in my timeline, yeah, it did happen, but I'm in the 1980s now, so it hasn't actually happened yet.
Right.
So
that's all I was trying to say.
Hopefully that will kind of close the gap there, but I don't know.
Apparently her and I were saying the same thing. I don't see how, but... And honey, I know you're listening, and I love you. I'll be home soon.
But Encino Man, it's basically like time travel because you have a caveman who's been frozen for thousands of years, and he wakes up in the 1990s.
Yeah. And, I mean, I never really paid attention to it when I was younger, but now watching it as I'm older, he just kind of accepted it. He's just like, oh, well, I guess this is my life now. There's nothing left to do.
And watching it as a teenager, that really never came to mind. Like, it didn't bother me. When I watched movies back then,
I still think we thought about stuff like that.
We probably did, but we didn't linger on it, I don't think. Like now, we like picking movies apart just because it's fun.
Yeah,
to
I
do
mean,
that.
I just can't understand. Like, I couldn't imagine being frozen right now and then I'm thawed out in...
Like the year 3000.
Yeah, and I know that technology is going to advance even farther, but I'm pretty sure that when I wake up, it's going to be... Like, I'll probably freak out a lot more than he did. He was just kind of like, oh, yeah. Oh, this is a house. Oh, I go into it. Oh, okay. It's like he was just okay.
Yeah.
So,
just to kind of expand on that, he thaws out. He wakes up in like a
7-Eleven
shed.
ice.
No, yeah, basically, yeah. It's gas station ice. It doesn't look anything like the ice that he was actually solidified in.
No.
But yeah, he wakes up in a shed, which did not exist in his time.
Right.
He confronts a garbage truck,
With a
which he does freak out about. So I'll give them that.
Yeah.
The mailman has a package, and he tries to not really attack the mailman with the shovel, but he's freaked out. It's another person.
Yeah.
Oh God, people didn't exist back then. He looks around. You see him stretching on top of this rock, and he looks down over the valley, and there's just houses everywhere. I would have freaked out about that. Like, what is all this stuff?
Yeah.
Because in his time, it probably would have just been nothing but trees and shit.
Yeah.
He turns around, there's a house. He goes inside.
Perfectly okay with it. He totally understands what you're supposed to do.
The glass windows, which wouldn't make any sense because glass didn't exist back then.
Nope.
He steps on a remote control that turns the television on, and he just watches TV and accepts the fact that there's people inside this little box.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And he steps on it again, so the channel changes, and he just accepts that. Like, oh, okay. Right.
Okay. And now it's I like this. They're dancing.
Okay.
These are my people. Everything, his surroundings, like all this new stuff that's around him, it doesn't seem to bother him as much as like when Dave, played by Sean Astin,
Yes,
and
Stoney,
Stoney, played by Pauly Shore, come into the bedroom when they get home from school and realize that he's actually alive.
And that's actually a funny scene because, you know, they come across him. Dave is digging himself a swimming pool in his backyard because I guess, you know, I'm sure that he was probably a kid and was like, Mom and Dad, I want to get a pool. And they were like, yeah, why don't you just go out and dig one? So he did.
Challenge accepted.
Fine. If that's how we get a pool, then that's how we get a pool. So he goes out and he's been digging this pool, which I could imagine is for a few years at least.
Years and years.
It's just years and years. But that's how he comes across this Cro-Magnon man buried in his backyard. So they bring it into the tool shed, and while they're at school, it shows it cuts back to the tool shed, and there's like 4 different space heaters on this, and he has the door wide open in Southern California with that heat. So when they get home, they're like, oh, he thawed out. Well, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah.
What the hell do you think was going to happen?
You probably didn't even need the space heaters, to be honest with you. I lived in California. It gets hot as shit there.
I mean, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, that line I always thought was so stupid because he comes in and he's like, oh, he thawed out. Yeah. That was his only option.
No, he said he melted. It's like, the body wouldn't actually melt. So.
But you're just sitting there thinking to yourself, like, it's the only way to preserve it is putting them in a walk-in freezer. That's the only way that this thing is going to stay an ice cube.
Well, he didn't want him to stay an ice cube anyway. But there's a lot of stuff that happened in this movie that didn't really make sense, but it wasn't really supposed to.
I mean, I guess I kind of misremembered it. One, I mean, I told you I didn't really care for Pauly Shore's character. And it's not he's actually a really good dude in the movie. Like, his whole thing is like, look, yeah, we can thaw this guy out. Yeah, we can, like, but let's just be friends with him. Like, you know, but Dave is like, no, we need him to be popular because we're losers. Well, Stoney doesn't care. He's, you know, I don't give a shit. Like, you know, I just want to be friends with this guy. And Dave is the one that takes it to like an extreme level of like, no, we need him. We got to be popular. We have to be popular. I just didn't like Pauly Shore because of the way that he actually talked. Like in our opening, you know, nobody talked like that.
There are many moments in the movie where the dialogue is just driven by him and his weird way of speaking.
Yeah.
It's just this odd dialect where he adds unnatural pauses.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And that's just, I mean, he did that in other movies, I think.
Yeah,
like,
he did it in Son-in-Law. I'm pretty sure he did it in the Army now. But I think after like Encino Man, Son-in-Law, in the Army now, people kind of started to see like, oh, he really doesn't have anything else. Like he's not like equipped to be in a gauntlet of movies.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of like the Adam Sandler thing. And we talked about this during the Adam Sandler appreciation episode where he kind of had his way hoo.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing that he would do early on. And I think that started in SNL.
Yeah,
and
it did.
Just carried into his movies and everything. But then he stopped at some point. It's like, you can't just do this in every movie.
No.
You can't just be the same person.
No, I mean, and I've said numerous times, like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, they're the exact same person. Just one of the movies involves golf.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that is very true.
yeah.
Now, before we watched the movie, I asked Dutch if there were any scenes that he remembered, like any lines that stood out to him. And I know it's been a long time since you've watched this movie.
Yeah.
It's been a while for me too, but there are still scenes that I will never forget. And I was surprised at how many I was able to quote like before it actually happened while we were watching it just now.
One of the things, I mean, in all honesty, this movie came out in what, 91, 92? Or was this like in 94?
This was IMDb, you are failing me.
Come on, get your shit together, IMDb.
I know, right? It's like you click into it and then it just disappears. It disappeared. 92.
92. Okay.
I was the ripe age of 12.
So in 92, I probably saw this maybe one more time in 94. And like beyond that, I haven't seen it. But I did totally forget because I think that, and I told you this, like I think that I was thinking of an entire, or at least I know I was thinking of an entirely different movie. But the guy that I love is Michael DeLuise's character. And his name escapes me now. Like, we literally just turned it off 20 seconds ago, and I can't.
Matt.
Shush! Shush! I don't know why I find that so funny.
It is, because it is funny.
I mean, I don't know if it's, like, his face when he says it, because, like, they talk about, he's like, oh, Robin, what does Robin see in Matt? And, you know, then he's talking about, like, basically to dumb it, actually to smarten it up a little bit from how dumb Stoney says it. Like, he's got the frosted tips, he's got the body, and the beautiful face, which he's not really that great looking of a guy. Like, he kind of looks like a eagle, I guess.
He
or
looks
some
like
type of bird.
He looks like a human bird.
Yeah, some type of bird. Maybe not something majestic like an eagle, but...
But the way that Stoney describes him, it's ridiculous. He's like... Something about the spikes on his dome.
Yeah.
He's got the hardcore beak, like beakage.
Yeah.
He likes to add AGE to the end of words unnecessarily.
Yeah, and then... But then when they're walking, like, it shows them from a distance and they're walking away and he's like, yeah, he's got 18-inch biceps. And he's like, I got 4-inch biceps.
Yeah.
So, like, little things like that, like little noises and stuff or little underappreciated lines. is what I love. But I mean, definitely at the end when they're at the prom and, you know, Robin is up there getting her crown, and then Matt breaks it up, and he was like, no, he was like, I got something to tell this school. He's like, this is our school and everything. And then she was like, Matt, just knock it off. And he just turns around and he's like, shush.
Shush.
Don't know why it's so funny. But I have always loved that scene.
He is the epitome of like high school bully character.
Yes.
Like he has that look about him and everything. But somehow, which is as much as you're supposed to dislike this character, his lines are funny. And things that he does throughout the movie is actually funny. Like, for instance, there's a scene in one of the classes where Dave looks over at Robin, who, you know, he's had a crush on for, you know, pretty much since they were babies.
Yeah, I think he's like, and honestly, to tell you the truth, that's Dave's fault. Dave shouldn't have been a dick, because even at the very beginning when he sees Robin and he was like, no, dude, she's reached like peak babeness. And he was like, yo, you had your chance with her like 5 years ago. And he's like, yeah, but she wasn't hot then.
Yeah.
Like, what an asshole. Like, so if anything, Dave is the real bad guy in this entire scenario.
Yes. Ha ha ha. Notice the finger. But in the classroom, like, Dave looks over at Robin and he like smiles and like waves at her, and then off frame, all of a sudden you see Matt lean his head in, all awkward, and then he just like shakes his head no at Dave. That to me is funny as hell.
It is.
But then you got the other scene where Matt staples Dave on the wall outside of the classrooms.
Right.
And he's basically just telling him, like, he can't see Robin. Like, well, I don't know what you're even doing here. And then he writes on his forehead, "Eat me," in marker.
Right. And then pulls the fire alarm, which is illegal.
Yeah, that's true. The only two people that got arrested were Dave and Link.
Yep, that they did. And that was kind of more for underage drinking, really. And in all honesty, Link was the oldest person in the bar.
Probably was. Why didn't the bartender
Well, of course he was. He was like 1,000,000 years old.
Why didn't the... Yeah, no shit. Why didn't the bartender get arrested is my question.
Probably because he ran out with everyone else. Everybody else got off like scot-free.
But it's like, you get caught for underage drinking. You shouldn't be the one arrested. The people who are serving you should be arrested.
Exactly.
So that didn't make sense. But it's funny because it's like the bartender, he's like a Jamaican dude.
Yeah.
But the way that he talks, he doesn't sound Jamaican at all.
No, he doesn't.
He's like, "Policia." He's like, "Immigracion."
Immigracion.
When Link thaws out, like before they name him and everything, that whole scene is actually pretty funny. So Dave and Stoney come into the bedroom because they follow the trail of like mud art that's all over the house.
Right.
And then they smell smoke, and they see smoke coming out from under the bedroom door, Dave's bedroom. So they go in there, and they see the caveman trying to start a fire.
Yeah.
And then he comes in there, and like you see him like kind of turn around, like he acts like a dog. It's funny.
He does.
And then there's this whole moment where it's like, you don't know if he's going to attack you or if he's going to freak the fuck out because, like, I don't know who these guys are. And then the phone rings and he freaks out over that. And it's a lot to take in, like, all in this one scene. And trying to put yourself in, like, the caveman's shoes, even though he wasn't wearing any.
Yeah.
I think they did a pretty decent job at, like, what would you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think trying not to... I mean, and obviously they want to make it funnier as opposed to it being... Because I kind of imagine that if...
It would get violent.
It would get very violent very quickly.
So it's like, if they did realistic version of an Encino Man.
Yeah,
it would be a lot shorter.
Everyone would have
Everyone would have been dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do like that night they get them all cleaned up and everything, and just the amount of crap that they were throwing into the tub. I mean, it was like, anti-cavity mouthwash.
It was mouthwash. It was bubble bath.
Bubble bath. And I mean, just all this kinds of crap that they're just throwing in this tub to clean them up. But I mean, the entire house is a mess. The parents come home and, he's like, oh, Stoney, take Link out back. He's like, and then ring the doorbell 3 times. So he goes down and, there's stuff burning on the stove and everything. And, the mom comes in and she was like, my kitchen, what happened to my kitchen? And he's like, oh, what? I just thought. And then the dad comes in. He's like, all right, what's going on in here? Which is the typical dad thing to do.
And then you got the cliche little sister, busted.
Yeah. And so they're like, oh, yeah, okay. He's like, no, I was just trying to cook dinner. And she was like,
I thought I would surprise you.
Yeah, I thought I would surprise you. And she was like, oh, God, you guys aren't falling for this, are you? But then Stoney and Link are at the back door and they're ringing the doorbell. And then they come in and he was like, oh, this is,
Linkovich-Chomovsky,
the foreign exchange student I told you about.
But I like the dad. I was like, who's this kid that's like ringing the doorbell? Like,
yeah. And why is he assaulting the dog? And he's like, he's not assaulting. He's just bonding. But when he's talking to him, he was like, God, does no one in this family listen to me? He's like, Mom, I told you about this months ago and you said it was okay. Now, what am I supposed to do with him? He's like, I can't just, send him back. And she was like, well, we're not. But then the dad's like, I do think I remember
something
about this.
Yeah, because Dave was like, he's like, remember I told you about, the foreign exchange student? Like, if we could house a foreign exchange student here, I could get extra credit towards college credits.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's like, this is the first time I'm hearing about.
Honestly, I think that what he says really, it doesn't make any sense because I don't think it was towards college credits. I think he was like, no, it'll go towards my college for room and board. And it's like, what? Like that? What?
Huh?
At least if I remember correctly. I mean, like I said, we just watched it. And that was the first time I had seen it in 22 years, 23 years, maybe more than that, 30 years. But I think that I want to say that's what he said was, yeah, it goes towards my college for room and board.
I don't know.
And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
You'll just have to go watch it, I guess.
Yeah.
Correct us. That could be our poll question. It's not going to be, but it could be. You can imagine what it would be like if it was. But
go on.
I do like when they're talking to him as if he understands what they're saying.
Yeah.
And he starts repeating things that they're saying. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, did he just say no?
What did he just say?
Nope.
Nope.
But then he jumps up on the bed and he's like, oh, this is fun. He's like, no, no, no. But then after they get him cleaned up, Dave is trying to teach him his name.
Yeah.
So he like pushes on they name him Link.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to think of a name. Like, I want to give him a cool name. Because this is Dave's whole agenda throughout this movie is like, this guy's going to make us popular.
Yes.
And to reiterate,
like an asshole.
To reiterate your point, all Stoney wants to do is be his friend. He just wants to be cool with this guy.
Yeah.
And but the way that Link is like, he taps Dave. He's like, Link, and he's like, no, I'm Dave.
I'm Dave.
And
You're
then
Link.
And then so Link taps his own chest. He's like, Dave. He's like, he doesn't get it. But I love how innocent Brendan Fraser was able to portray.
Yes.
Because it's like, he's clueless. He doesn't speak their language. And the frustration that he gets when he can't remember who's who.
Yeah.
He's like, because he's got Pauly Shore over in the other side of the room. He's like, and who's that? It's like, and that's Stoney. He's like, and you are? He's like, David.
It's like, no.
He's
But,
like, So there are moments where Stoney is trying to get Dave to like just chill out, just like take it easy on him. It's like because it's a lot for him to take in.
Yes.
They think it's a great idea for him to register at school. Which,
that's obviously the best idea that anybody's ever had, ever.
The fact that they were able to register a completely made-up person, basically.
There's no parent there at all.
There's no...
hey, we're doing it as students.
They don't have a social security card to use.
The whole thing just falls apart.
He's not American.
Yeah.
Even though he's a caveman that was dug up from American grounds, so technically he is American. He's as American as you can get.
He's as American as apple pie.
Yeah. But they basically use like dog records. It's like, did anybody read this shit?
Obviously not.
We're just going to take
like, because
these...
the very first thing in his records is like a rabies shot. And then he's like, rabies shot. And then that's when Matt and his little cohorts are in there and he's like, rabies shot. And he's like, rabies shot? He's like, dewormed? He's like, what is this? And then the other guy's like, oh, it's for a dog license.
Dog license.
Yeah. And then Matt kind of looks at him like, how the hell do you know that?
But he's like, so something's not right here. And then one of his buddies is like, what? It's not his dog license? And you could see it in his head. He's like, you guys are idiots.
Yeah. The wheels are turning. It's
Yes.
like, oh, you'll get there. Light bulb.
Yeah, the wheels are turning, but there's nobody behind the wheel. But so they bring him to school, and he just accepts it.
Yeah.
Like all these other people, he doesn't know. They don't look anything like what he's used to.
Yeah. But he doesn't freak out.
No.
He's just like, okay, yeah, no, this is my life now.
But he just, the way that he interacts with some of the people is pretty funny. Like those two guys listen to like rap music or rock music, whatever it is. And he just starts like dancing with them. And he's just like vibing and everything. But then he's in one of the upper floors and like looking over the balcony, he spots, what's her face? Robin.
Her real name is Robin Tooney.
Which is weird because the main love interest, her name is Robin.
Yeah.
But yeah, he spots Robin Tooney, her character. He's like, I can't remember what he says because he's learning all these words. And
well, he just basically goes up to her and just grabs her hair and starts smelling it. And she was like, I'm sorry, can I help you? And he's like, gazungas. Because he's like looking at her tits. He goes to grab them, but Dave and Stoney are there like, no, you can't do that. But
Stoney's like, I think he likes your cunts. But so they have to find a way to like get him from class to class because he's not truly registered.
Right.
So they agree like Dave's gonna have him for like the first half, and then Stoney's gonna have him for the rest of the time. Like I can take him to Spanish class, which is pretty funny because you got a caveman doesn't speak English and now he's trying to learn Spanish.
And he's already mastered it.
Yes. El queso está viejo y perdido. It's like, huh? Which comes up later on in the movie.
Yes.
And that scene has always made me laugh.
I mean, I do remember that scene, and like I was telling you, like I always remember that scene, but I just don't know how to say it in Spanish. Because that guy is like, yo, you see that girl across the bar?
See that muchacha over there?
Yeah, and he was like, look at her. And then he was like, no, don't look at her.
You just told us to look at her.
Like, any man that I see looking at her, I will make him not a man.
He's like, he will no longer be recognizable as a man.
Yeah.
You understand?
Well, yeah. Well, the only thing that you can assume is that, Link takes her and essentially has sex with her. Because that's pretty much all he would know. Is, be like, oh, you're a woman? Be like, bam, this is going to happen. It doesn't show anything, though. It just shows him pick her up off the bar and walk away.
I don't think he does anything with her.
He should have.
He did.
She was hot.
He should have, yes. She was very attractive.
But then he was like, oh, what did I say about anyone looking at my muchacha? And then he says whatever in Spanish.
El queso está viejo y perdido.
Yeah. And
He's
then
like, you're right. She's not worth it.
Yeah. Because he was like saying like the cheese is very old and moldy. Where's the bathroom?
Yes. ¿Dónde está el sanitario?
He's like, you're right. She's not worth it, man.
Some of the shit that happens with Link. So there's a lot that goes on in that scene. So how they even get to this bar is at one point they have to let Link go and kind of do classes on his own.
Right.
He ends up in this driver's ed class.
Of course, because that's where I would make sure that he ended up.
Link is super excited to drive the car because when they go to the ice skating rink, he sees this arcade game, which he completely accepts.
Yeah.
And he plays an arcade game, not even understanding what the concept is of an arcade game. And he
Perfectly.
Yeah. He plays this game, and he's like, what was it, Radmobile?
Yeah, Radmobile.
Radmobile. What's funny is when they're at the ice rink, he's making like cave paintings out of ketchup and mustard.
Yeah.
Like on the plexiglass. And then he hears the arcade game just off in the distance, like Radmobile, and he's like, oh. The way that he reacts to certain things, that gets me.
And it gets me too, because this movie would be like a dream of mine, because Brendan Fraser really doesn't have any lines in the movie. He just has like grunts, other little noises, and maybe in the movie he probably says maybe 30 words tops.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just when he's repeating what Stoney says.
Yeah. So he doesn't. So this should be like a dream of mine, because like you said, when he turns around and sees Radmobile and he's like, like just the little noises. I mean, I think it's hysterical. I think it's so funny.
So before they give him a bath and clean him up and everything, when he's about to attack Dave because he's freaking the fuck out
over the phone,
Stoney comes in with a lighter.
Yeah.
And he's completely mesmerized by the fire.
Right. Like, I think he likes the blue part.
It's like he's into it. Look at his eyes. But Dave, like, he waves his fingers over the flame and he burns himself and he's like, ah. And then and Link is like, oh. Little things like that really, like, Brendan did such a great job.
He did.
You know, despite the acceptance that was very far-fetched and unbelievable, the way that he reacted to certain things, I think could have been kind of convincing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just the innocence of the whole thing. It's like he's experiencing these things for the first time.
Yeah, I could see that.
But anyway, he ends up in this driver's ed class, and he gets behind the wheel, even though he's not supposed to be the one driving. I don't think at that point. I think maybe the driver's ed teacher is supposed to like take them out at least, just to kind of show them the ropes.
Yeah,
first.
to get them off the school campus, and then everyone switches seats and everything. But I do like when that one teacher, I think, wrote down the license plate or whatever, but the cop was there, and the driver's ed teacher's there, and he's like, you don't have to mention that I left the keys in the ignition, right? Do you?
I like before they drive off, where Robin is talking to the driver's ed teacher, like, Robin, whatever her last name is, again? She's like, yeah, I just can't get that parallel parking thing down. Yeah. And he's like, parallel parking is not a thing. It's not an emotion. It's not a feeling. It's not this, and that. But he just like goes on this whole tirade about it being a thing. He's like, it's not personal. Just get in the car. But Link, he just takes off and he hits a ramp or a curb or something, and the car ends up on two wheels.
Yeah.
And
it's literally on two wheels it's like almost until they get into downtown.
It's for an ungodly amount of time. And they don't get into an accident or anything. But Dave and Stoney, they happen to be in the same class while this is going on. And Stoney happens to see Link out the window of the classroom, and he nudges Dave. He's like, "Hey, look over there."
Yeah, he's like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. They get up, and I don't remember what they said, but they get the intention of the entire class, and they all like run to the window. It's like class, calm down.
Well, they jump up and they're like, Radmobile.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. Very rad.
Because now he's sitting there looking at it like, oh, I get to do this for real.
And So the two of them like run outside because like, all right, we got to stop this. This is going to be bad. It's going to be real bad.
It's going to be real bad, man.
But so Dave, he jumps into the back window and you kind of half in, half out. And if you look at the cut scene where you see Robin, like she looks over and she's like, hey, Dave. But then it cuts to like a wide shot outside of the car. And the guy in the back seat, who looks nothing like Sean Astin, is like very apparent that you can see him through the windshield.
Yes.
And I don't know where the hell Stoney is at this point.
He's in the passenger seat.
So either way, they drive for a long time just on the two wheels. And
I mean, just miles and miles and miles.
Yeah. Run a red light while flipping a car off. No,
Yeah.
I'm just joking. No. But then it cuts back to them. The car is on all four wheels, and then he does this master stunt drive maneuver where he skids out and turns the car around and perfectly parallel parks right in front of this bar.
Yep.
It's like in this like the Hispanic part of town or something.
Yep.
So that's how they end up in this bar. There's a lot of stuff going on in that bar, like the whole
That there
thing with
is.
the so Stoney like sits down at the bar next to the group of like the Mexican guys, and they're like, "Is this tequila?" And they're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to be a man?" But
He's like-
Stoney's like, "Where's the worm?"
Well, it's funny because I when they ask him, I do like his comeback right away because they're like, hey, you want to be a man? And he's like, eventually.
It's a very honest answer.
Yeah. And then he's just like, oh, but look at my little patch. And like opens up his shirt and they're like, oh.
Oh, macho man. He's like, mucho macho.
Yep.
But yeah, he sees the tequila and he's like, "Where's the worm?" He's like, "The worm is right here. You're looking right at him."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not a worm, I'm a weasel." And he's like, there are moments where he does this obnoxious thing that actually are good for a laugh. I'm not going to lie. But yes, the overall way that he speaks is just, it gets old after a while.
At the end of the movie, when Dave breaks into, or not Dave, but Matt breaks into Dave's house, I guess he's just going there to kick the shit out of Link.
No, he's trying to find evidence as to like,
Well, no, because
who Link is.
Well, when he first walks up to the house, he's like, "Link, get down here." But Link has already left with Robin to go to the prom. So they're already gone, and Stoney and Dave are in the back sitting next to the pool. And then that's when he just gets the boost to go up, and he goes in through the window. And after he goes in through the window, and like as he tries to step down from the window, he steps on the hammock.
yeah.
And it flips over, but the way he stands up like really quick, like nobody's getting the drop on me. But then he's like, his head's through the hammock and it just whips him right down again. It's easily one of the funniest scenes I think I've ever seen.
I agree. Because he steps into the hammock, that trips him up, so he falls, immediately stands up like Dutch says, his head gets caught into it, so he kind of like gets thrown forward and then immediately backwards, back onto his back, and the timing is just so great.
It is perfect.
But like the whole thing is like, he's looking around the bedroom trying to find something, and this picture had fallen down.
Yeah, because he accidentally knocked it down. I think that's what made him lose his concentration, because that was in the windowsill. And so he had knocked it down and then looked and then went to step down, and that's when he stepped on the hammock. But since that had happened, like the pictures the Polaroids that they were taking of the Iceman came out. And he was like, what? So now he's just like, okay, everybody is going to hate this guy because, I mean, I don't know what Matt's
logic
would be. I mean, the only thing that he kept saying, he was like, no, he's a freak. But, I mean, he was like the coolest kid that anyone ever hung around.
Especially the women girls,
Yeah.
I guess. They're high school.
But like that whole thing, like it wouldn't make any sense because it's just like, oh, now I got dirt on you. And it's like, well, you really don't. The only thing that you can say is like, yeah, he's a caveman that was able to successfully be thawed out and actually live in this modern time. Like that would be the only thing that you could really say. But it totally backfires in Matt's face because he's just like, he's a caveman.
Yeah.
And then everybody just cheers. And he's like, no, No!
Damn it! This is the opposite of what I wanted to happen.
I wanted you to start a fire and kill this man. But
I wanted to throw rotten fruit at him, which I don't know where this rotten fruit came from.
Yeah. I totally forgot the when they're at Blades, the roller rink, and he plays Radmobile and everything. Matt beats up Dave yet again, and then Link goes to kind of like defend him or whatever.
I don't think Matt really beat him up in that scene. He grabbed him and pulled him. He pulled him over the railing to the ice rink, and then he like throws him down the ice on his back.
Yeah, but then he punches Link, and Link just sits there, and then you got the other two guys are like, "Whoa, he just took it." And then Link leaves because
he doesn't know how to react to it because this is not like he's not used to these petty bullshit fights.
Yeah. He doesn't know anything about that. Like, and Stoney even says that, where it's like, you just want to be like, you're so wise. Just don't talk the way you talk.
Like a miniature Buddha, but not covered in hair.
Yeah. Because he was just like, look, he had to fight for, like, survival and food. Like, that's what he fought for. He didn't fight to be cool.
Dave is trying to get him to defend himself. Like, he's got to save face.
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't know what cool is. Like, what are you talking about?
But then the next day, those two kids, where they were like, whoa, he took the punch or whatever, they see him and they're like, yeah, like he's destroyed everyone before you.
Nobody's ever taken a hit from Matt before and survived.
Yeah. And I mean, but you just sit there and think to yourself, so Matt's just going around punching people and they
killing
die.
Them?
They die? Like this kid's not in prison?
Why?
Why? Am I going to die?
If you get hit by Matt, apparently.
So it's like little lines like that, like,
There's the scene at the beginning of the movie where Dave is digging up the pool, and then Stoney shows up. And it's funny because as Dave is digging, he throws a pile of dirt, and it, like, hits Stoney, like, square on.
And he's like, washed all these clothes.
He's like, the way he says it is funny. He's like, I just washed this stuff. But as he's digging, he hits something hard in the dirt, and then he digs it up, and it's like a bowl, like an old prehistoric bowl. And I'm trying to remember what Stoney called it. It starts with an M. It's like a mustachian bowl, or
like a
something like that.
Mesotheniola bowl or something.
He's like, what's that? He's like, it's like prehistoric bowl from the whatever period.
Yeah.
He's like, prehistoric Tupperware.
It's like, watch your Jeopardy.
Don't you ever watch Jeopardy, Dave? So one of the scenes, so as I mentioned before, I had asked Dutch if there were any moments from the movie that he recalled, even though it had been a long time. And for me, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is Stoney, after their first day in school, he takes Link with him to Six Flags. And so he's going on roller coasters. He doesn't freak out about the roller coasters.
Nope.
He's, eating all this junk food, and he's got the, like that zinc ointment all over his nose,
right,
like you see surfers wearing. Like, yeah. And it's just all this stuff that he's going through. It just seems natural. They're fucking with a mascot dressed as a panda, which it's just a weird scene. A lot happens in such a short period of time. But after they leave Six Flags, they go to this convenience store, an unnamed convenience store. I don't remember there being a name on the front of it. It wasn't like a
it's kind of like a 7-Eleven.
It's supposed to be similar to but he's trying to teach, I guess, Link the fundamentals. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, so what you need to learn in like the 4 basic food groups. And Link had grabbed a banana, like out of the basket or whatever, and he's like, this is not one of them. So
I do like when he says that, because he has the banana, mm-hmm, and he was like, I'll teach you about the 4 basic food groups. He's like, and this is not one of them. Link goes, oh. So it's very small, very quick, but it's very funny because he's just like, this is not one of the food groups. He's like, oh.
And the times you don't even expect him to respond at all, because once again, he doesn't speak the language. So, But he walks him down the candy aisle, and he's like stops at the Milk Duds. He's like, "This is the dairy group."
Yeah.
He's like, something about you don't want to get caught with these because your mom will. I don't remember what he said.
I don't remember what he says, but he was like, "Make sure you keep these under your pillow so your mom doesn't find them."
Right. Then he's like the sweet tarts. And he's like, "This is the fruit group."
Corn nuts,
and
wasn't
then,
it?
Yeah, this is the vegetable group.
Yeah.
He's like corn nuts. So before he goes down the candy aisle, he's got a frozen burrito, and he's asking the guys behind the counter. He's like, "How long for the burrito?" And,
1 minute.
And they're like, 1.5 minutes. And then the other guy's like, 2 minutes. He's like, "Well, make up your mind. What is it? 1 minute or 2 minutes?" Like 1.5 minutes. So he puts the burrito in for 1.5 minutes. They go through the whole spiel with the candy aisle, and then you hear the ding. So they go and get the burrito. But
I like when the ding goes off because they're down the candy aisle and he just stands up and he's like, "Make grip." But it looks like a bean burrito.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like there's any meat on it.
It could be like beef and bean. It could be. They had those at the convenience stores. I've had them before. They're gross. But I like how he grabs it out of the microwave and then Link immediately grabs it from him and just starts going to town on it. And he's like, "Hey." He's like, "You gotta share." So
it's like 50-50.
He's like, he grabs the burrito and like rips the part that Link had just eaten, and then he starts eating that half and gives him the other half back. Yeah. But he's like, just as I thought. It's like molten hot on the outside and like cold and like frozen in the middle. And then you hear the guy's like, "Do a minute." That shit always cracked me up. But then he goes to the icy machine. He's like, "Oh, this is like the king, like why we even come here."
Yeah.
And so he goes and just puts his head under the nozzle and starts drinking the icy from under the nozzle.
Two guys come out of nowhere.
Well, it's
like they were hiding behind the machine or something there.
Well, they were keeping their eyes on these two. They're the only two people in here.
Yeah.
And they're just like watching them like hawks. Like these guys are gonna try to get away with some shit.
But you would like to think that, I mean, just based off the conversation that Stoney had with the two guys about how long do I put the burrito in for, like I can never remember. Like these guys know who Stoney is.
Yeah.
So this isn't like
he's a frequent flyer.
Yeah, this isn't their first rodeo.
No, not even a little.
So that's what made me wonder if they were hiding behind the icy machine because they knew exactly where he was going.
It's like, but he's like, "You do this every time. How many times do we have to tell you?"
Every goddamn day.
But he's like, "Are you taxing on my grindage, bro? I'm just wheezing the juice." Yeah. And the guy's like, "No, wheezing the juice." That line right there has always stood out to me. Like, that's one of my favorite lines from the entire movie. Because you don't expect him to say it. Even if he said it, I would expect him to say, "No wheezing the juice." But no, he does the pause.
Yeah.
That Stoney is known for doing. "No wheezing the juice." But then Link goes to do it, and he experiences his very first brain freeze.
Where's the juice?
Oh my god. You have the whole prom thing, which, you know, that's the same scene where Matt goes up on stage and he tries to do like the evil villain making his big reveal, and it doesn't work out in his favor.
I do like because, you know, Dave runs up there. He's like, "No, Matt, give me those pictures. Like, those are my pictures." And then Matt's like, you know, kind of like, "I warned you." So he decks him. But I do like the noise that Link makes right after, because he like turns Matt to him and he does the sensei
bows to him.
But he's like, "Oh." It's just like one of those moments where you're like, "Oh shit, just got real."
It's interesting that initially Stoney was like anti-fighting, anti-violence. Like there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
Like we just want this guy to enjoy life. You know, this is all new for him, and we just want to be like a family.
Yeah.
We want to be like family to him. But at one point, they're like, "All right, well, we got to teach him how to fight, I guess, just to defend himself or something." So they watch a wrestling video, then they watch like kung fu, and he's picking up on this stuff, which is actually a pretty funny sequence because he's like picks up Dave and's like spinning him over his head, like, helicopter style. So he does the same shit like during prom, but he picks Matt up over his head and starts spinning him. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
But the one thing, Dave is trying to go out with Robin. He's trying to make it his advances throughout the entire movie, and she's just rejecting him left and right. Like, eventually you think he would give up. No. He's persistent.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's Rudy, for Pete's sake.
But I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where I'm really starting to fall into like maybe the Karate Kid scenario. Like, Dave might have been the bad guy in this scenario because, you know, like I said, when Stoney told him, like, you could have had her like 5 years ago, and he was like, but she hadn't reached like peak babeness yet.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the lowest thing you could say. I mean,
yeah, if they did a prequel to Encino Man, he would have been the bad guy for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, but it's definitely like, and it's another one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you know, but he's got to be the good guy because he's the main character, and it's like, no, I mean, it doesn't really have to be the good guy. I mean, what kind of dick says that? Well, I didn't want to go out with her then because she wasn't that hot, and then all of a sudden she just got hot, and now I want to be with her. Like, we have, and then I think he says at one point, he's like, we have history. But when they go to Blades, and he was like, look, we've even been naked together. And it's like a baby picture of them in the tub together. And she was like, wait, did you show this to anybody? He's like, no, that's your copy. you can show whoever you want.
You can keep that. But the funny thing is, like, she's the only one in the bathtub, and he's like outside fully clothed.
Yeah.
Like, outside of the tub. So it's like, you guys weren't naked together.
I know. Your logic ain't logicking.
What the hell are you talking about, Dave? Come on.
One last thing that I want to touch on really quick is I do love Rick Ducommun. He was the teacher.
Yeah.
May he rest. There was just that scene at the very beginning when he's going through everything and he's like calling on students, and he was like, you know, we had the Cro-Magnon man. He was like, and he was alive during what? And then Stoney raises his hand. He's like, yeah, Stoney. And he was like, the Ice Age? And he was like, right, the Ice Age. Okay. And he was going through and he's like, yeah, because we had all this ice. And then he looks at, he was like, at Matt, but he was like, yeah, we had all this ice. And it was called, and he was like, glaciers? And he's like, yeah, good, glaciers. And then he turns around, but then looks back at him real quick. And he's like, oh, you really were paying attention.
Yeah. He's like, when all this ice moving over the top of the land can sometimes cause underground. And he looks back at Matt.
Glaciers.
Very good. Sorry. Call them out as you see them. Don't forget this one and that one. 7.
Yeah.
7 glaciers.
But then when they take the field trip, and he was talking about the saber tooth. I really didn't like the way that he said it because I've always heard it as a saber tooth tiger, but he was like, yeah, this is a saber tooth cat. And I'm like, And he was like, and the caveman would have been a delectable meal for him. But Link is like freaking out because he's seeing all these things. So he's like figuring out what happened to him. So you hear him scream, and then Rick Ducommun is just like, see, there's one now.
Yeah. I guess the last thing that I would want to mention, just the overall, the way that people talk throughout this movie. Now, I lived in California till I was about 15, and where I lived in Los Angeles until I was 9, and then I lived in like Fresno, then I lived in Palmdale, and nobody in any of those places spoke like they're speaking in this movie at all. So I'm like, did they just do this for the sake of film? Because I've heard this in other movies too, where they have this very exaggerated dialect. And it's all like the valley. Like, if you live in the valley, this is how people speak. And like, I guess because I've never lived in the valley, I was never exposed to that. Yeah. But Robin's friend, whose name escapes me, I can't remember what her name is in the movie.
I know, neither can I.
But at the beginning, when they're in class, and he's pulls down that thing that's like the poster with the Cro-Magnon man and everything, and then this girl chimes in. She's like, he's dope, I'd go out with him, you know, like things like that. And then like there's another moment where they're talking about Link, and she's right next to Matt, and she's like, I think he's jive. And then and then Matt's like, you think he's jive? Like, he calls her out on it. But like, there's many moments like that where it's like, who talks like this?
Yeah.
Who says these things?
Well, I just pulled out this little device from my pocket, and I was able to do a quick search. Her name was Ella.
Oh, okay. Did they even say it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember them saying it at all.
It doesn't sound familiar at all.
But anyway, Encino Man has always been like a nostalgic like favorite from my childhood, and since the movie came out, it's weird watching it now because it's been a long time for me.
Yeah.
It's not like one of the typical 90s movies where it's like it holds up. It's still an entertaining movie.
Right.
But I feel like I definitely enjoyed it more when I was younger than I do now. But I still enjoyed watching it just now.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun watching it.
I feel like I was just analyzing the hell out of it this time instead of just enjoying it for what it is. But there were a lot of moments that made me laugh out loud. So
yeah, and like I said, I when I said this earlier in this episode is it's not that I didn't like Pauly Shore's character in the movie, because he did have the very, like, his moral character was actually very good in this movie. And I think his moral character has always been very good in every movie, where it's like, he wants to do the right thing. He wants to be the right person. He wants to help out people for the right reasons. I just hate the way he talks.
Yeah, and I think
I can't stand the way he talks.
And I think in a lot of his movies, when he had this kind of character that he would do, people wouldn't take him seriously for that reason.
Yeah. And I mean, it drove me crazy.
And I don't...
Because I never heard anyone refer to food as grindage.
No.
I never heard anyone call anybody else ever in my life a cruster.
I've never heard... Yeah, he called his hair a crusty mop.
Yeah. Never understood it.
Yeah, it was very odd, but it was Pauly Shore.
Yep.
That's just what he was. But anyway, this one actually went longer than I was expecting.
Oh, look at that.
But it was still fun. Like, I enjoyed talking about this one, even though we didn't have all the lines right or memorized or anything like that. It was still a fun one to do.
Yet. Son of a bitch.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if Encino Man's streaming anywhere. I had the DVD, so I didn't have to look it up.
No, I couldn't find it anywhere.
All right. Well, good luck, everybody. I'm sure you can get it on Prime for $3.99 to rent and $4.99 to purchase, but that seems to be the trend. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time,
Quotable Podcast out.
I'll be back.